All righty, Madam President, you should be good to go.
Okay, hello, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started with the Waukegan Public Library Board of Trustees meeting. And it's Wednesday, July 21st, 2021, and it is 6:32. So I call this meeting to order and roll call. Tatiana?
Present.
Robbie?
Present.
Brian?
Present.
Larry?
Here.
Jean? Martha? Let's see, who am I missing? Let's see, 1, 2, 3.
Josue just joined us.
Josue, that's who I was missing. Josue. Okay.
Shatara?
And Shatara. Shatara is not going to be here today, and that's with notice. Martha, I think she's with notice too, but I'll have to double check my email.
She sent an email, said she would be here, so she may
You
join
would?
us and we'll have
Okay.
to seat her.
Okay, so Jeannie and Martha will probably come. So it looks like we do have a quorum, and we will continue with our public comments. And it looks like we have two sets of two different written comments. And what we're going to do tonight is we're going to enter them into our records, and they have been distributed to all of the trustees. So those have been entered into our records. Yes, John?
Madam President, Jean just joined us, so if you want to just call the roll, one more person instead of having to call the roll to seat her.
Okay, so Jeannie.
Here.
Okay. Okay, so we will move forward, and I just made a statement about the public comments, and we're moving on down to the agenda and the minutes. So with that, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda of the Waukegan Public Library Board of Trustees meeting on Wednesday, July 21st, 2021.
Second.
So it's been motioned and properly second that we accept the agenda as printed. All in favor? So we have Tatiana,
Aye.
Rob,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
Josue,
Aye.
Jeannie,
Yes.
and let's see, and yes for myself also. Motion carried.
Yes, for Larry too.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know it, Larry. I'm sorry.
Oh,
And
okay.
Larry. And Larry, okay. Motion carried. We'll follow the agenda as printed. And now if we could get a motion for the minutes, to approve the minutes.
So moved.
I'll second.
Larry can have it.
Okay. All in favor? Josue,
Aye.
Tatiana,
Aye.
Robbie,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
Jeannie,
Yes.
and Larry.
Yes, aye.
And yes for myself. Motion approved. The minutes have been approved. So now the Finance Committee report.
Thank you. Right, so we had our finance meeting promptly tonight, about 45 minutes ago, 5:45 p.m. this evening. And we went over two items. The first item on our agenda was the, and it's in the board packet as well. It's a summary of the actual versus budgeted results for the 2-month period ending on June 30th of 2021. And reviewing this myself, I didn't say anything that, given where we are at this time of year, anything that really stood out as concerning for our library. Everything looked routine. And Anna, our financial guru here, likewise agreed with this. Anna, are you here yet at the meeting now? Perhaps Anna's not here.
No, I'm here, Larry. Just take.
Oh, you're here. Oh, okay, I'm sorry I
yeah,
missed
I'm
that.
good.
So perhaps just quickly, you could give a more expert overview of this, given that this is your job, the library, to put all this together for us.
Yes. We are 2 months into our fiscal year, so if we annualize it, it's 16.5%. Of course, with the exception of certain items like property tax, and because we receive 46% of what we budgeted. And that makes sense because we pay property tax in 2 installments in Lake County. And the expenses, everything is in line with what we budget. There are some exceptions, like library material is at 22% because we pay a lot of the annual subscriptions of the materials at this time of the year. And marketing is at 25% because we budget for 4 newsletters and we did 1. And then also building services because we contract with a vendor to come inspect our boilers, and they did a semi-annual inspection. So with exception of those categories, we are in line with our budget. No surprises.
Anna, could
Very
you
good.
give me, Larry and Anna, could you give me just 1 second? Let's get Martha seated. Could I get a motion to bring Martha into the meeting?
I make a motion to bring Martha into the meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, so it's been motion and properly second that we seat Martha into the meeting. All in favor? Josue,
Aye.
Tatiana,
Aye.
Rob,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
Jeannie, Larry,
Aye.
and yes for myself. Okay, Martha is in our meeting now. Thank you, Martha.
All
Okay,
right.
you can continue, Larry.
Thank you. All right, Anna, were you done with your summation?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you. Very, very good. Thank you. Very good. All right. And so then moving on, our next item on our Finance Committee meeting tonight, we talked about the monthly board check detail for June of 2021. I asked just a number of questions just to clarify, what's this item and what's that item and what was it used for and so forth. And the answers were all very sufficient and made perfect sense. And other Finance Committee members had a few other questions here and there. And so we got that all out. And I will say that all of our board members are always welcome to attend our Finance Committee meetings where we really, just scrutinize these finances on behalf of the public here for our library. And I commend the library staff and Anna and John for doing a good job of putting all this together. They do a fine-tuning job, and then we just go through, and of course it's our job to review and and ask questions and clarify just to because we're the public's watchguards on all this and safeguards. So and so all of my questions were answered to satisfaction, and the other members of the Finance Committee. You're all welcome to attend. The public is welcome to ask questions ahead of time. These are public documents, so just wanted to make that that known, and everyone aware of this again. And I will say that we did have a motion, and it was seconded and approved to recommend that the board approve the monthly board check detail for June of 2021 tonight at the meeting. So given that, is there a motion to accept the monthly board check detail for June 2021 by the Waukegan Public Library Board of Trustees?
I so move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
I second. I'm sorry.
Very good.
Okay, so it's been moved and second that we accept the financial report for sorry, I'm financial report. Hold on a minute. For June 2021, disbursements. Any discussion, and if you could keep it down to 2 responses, 2 questions. If you have a question, this would be a good time to ask. Okay, so if there's no questions, it's been motioned properly second. We gave everyone an opportunity to speak on this. So let's do a roll call. Josue,
Aye.
Tatiana,
Aye.
Rob,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
Jeannie,
Yes.
Larry,
Aye.
and I for myself. Martha?
Aye.
Okay, so it's been motion properly second, and it is carried. So we will accept the financial report as written. Moving right along to the director's report.
Thank you, Madam President. It was an exciting month. The month of June, the library was more open than it has been since the pandemic started. And this has been an exciting month of July as well. But this month has been super busy. We had a great program with Kohls Children's Museum. I was around on Juneteenth and saw them at Beacon Place, for example. And now I show up at our library and they're on our courtyard having a program with dozens of small children and parents and folks from Kohls Children's Museum. So it was really neat to see activity at the library again. This is what I love about libraries, and I was really happy to have this partnership. I'm really excited for our library's opportunity. I wanted to also say that we had a great time on Saturday night, and it was Nico Baron. He played his style of music with his band and played to a great crowd of willing and excited people. A small crowd, but it was still mighty, and people had fun. It was really great to see the library get back into what the library does best. And so great job to Karina for bringing our music back to the courtyard, and great job to our staff for setting up chairs and preparing and accommodating. We have more concerts coming. There will be one at the 21st of August. It'll be Kaleidoscope Eyes. And I know Karina will probably I'm not going to steal your thunder. So if you like Beatles music, come to the library and listen to the Beatles on our courtyard. And we do it during Art Walk time. So it's from 5 to 7 p.m. It's a departure from our regular Fridays concerts, but it is an opportunity to get to a different part of the community that we haven't really reached out to before and be a part of what the whole community is doing. So that's really great. And kudos to Karina for making these things happen. We are also expecting and hope for sometime in the month of October, a mariachi band. We'll be doing monthly concerts until we reach next summer, and then perhaps bring back the old concert series on Fridays. But we have music every month at the library. We are fully open at the library starting on August 1st. I'm very excited to say 10 to 7 Monday through Friday, 10 to 3 Saturday and Sunday, with full access to the lower level. That means the children's department, sans the ELC. We're working on finding a way to open the ELC up safely, and have to put a lot of toys away and stuff because we're trying to keep the space safe. But that'll be the children's department and the literacy suite. And so we've been hosting some folks from Waukegan to College, some interns this summer, and they've got an event coming up here toward the end of August or July. So there's a lot going on at the library. We are reopening our Hingston Fieldhouse branch on September 1 is our goal, to relaunch the library branch as a branded space for people who use the Fieldhouse, and we'll have health, wellness books and all kinds of neat stuff out there. And my goal is to bring programming out to the Fieldhouse because, as Josue mentioned months and months or years ago, we have a built-in audience at the Fieldhouse of several thousand paying clients who want to participate. And speaking with Teddy Anderson, that's our role, is to play a part, not to try and do it ourselves or go it alone, but to be a partner in the community. So the branch is currently open Monday through Friday, 10 to 2. Our home delivery process has been piloting this month of June and July. In the month of August, we're going to work on marketing to get the word out that patrons can ask for books or materials to be delivered to their homes. So that's an exciting development, and it's coming to fruition. Our branch is going to receive a slight makeover, but nothing structural or wild. We're just going to kind of welcome people back and see about using the outside the door space to let people know that we are a library in there. And we have developed a cross-functional team of reference assistants and clerks who are serving the patrons on the main floor. They were the kind of the kiosk service on the main floor. The goal is to make sure that there's no wait, that every person receives equal treatment when they walk in the building, as we always have, but each person almost gets a personalized experience. We're at a lower rate of visitation than we used to be. Rob was in yesterday and saw that, you know, there are not a lot of people in the library, and we want to encourage people to come back. We are going to continue masking for the safety of our staff and patrons. And the goal is, again, if we can make month to month changes, and September 1 is going to be a big one, because that means our lower level will reopen. So this cross-functional team is being used to kind of make sure that we have adequate staffing at the desks, so no desk is sitting empty and no patrons are waiting in line. And so that more people can do more things in more places. It should be no more of, I brought a stack of children's books down to the children's department and we can't receive them for them. We can take things everywhere and do everything at every location. Excited to say, I want to pick your brains, board members, in terms of our use of the library policy. So I would like to request that we meet, each of us individually, to talk about the use of the library policy and also our goals as a library as we move into reflecting our service based on our mission, vision, and strategic plan, or strategic direction, Literacy 2020. This is our last meeting via Zoom, folks. So the governor's order that allowed us to have virtual meetings expires at the end of this week. So next month, in the month of August, we will be meeting in person and having conversation on how to do that safely and allow the public in. We may have to do like a video screen downstairs, because our boardroom really probably won't hold much more than us and the 9 board members. So more information is forthcoming. I'm excited to work with Susan and our admin team to develop a trustee training in the month of August. We're going to move forward and get the trustees trained up so you know your roles and responsibilities. As I drove back and forth from Indiana, my first 6 months working here, I used to see on the highway, stay in your lane. And the goal is to get everybody kind of assorted to where we need to be so that we can work together as an effective and efficient organization. And there hasn't been trainings due to a pandemic and due to some other reasons that we haven't had it. We need to do it, and it's coming. So as always, my door is open. You don't have to reach out to Sylvia to meet with me. I would recommend that you carbon copy her so that she knows that you want to meet, but because she may want to be involved or understand that my door is always open. Our doors are always open, and I want to ask for feedback, because we are an excellent library in an excellent community, and I want to continue to build this library up to be the best it can possibly be. Our staff has done an outstanding job of making this library exemplary. I want to bring us back to an award-winning library once again. I think we just need to apply, because we do so much stuff at this library that is award-winning. We should have won awards all along, but I digress. We're too busy doing the work and not busy enough applying for all of these awards. So that will be a focus. I've reached out to all the aldermen to see about meeting with each alderman individually. I've met with the mayor, the new mayor, Ann Taylor. She's doing a good job settling in. According to our bylaws, again, there was supposed to be an election of officers, but we're awaiting the mayor's appointments. So before we have elections, we were holding off as a courtesy to the mayor to make new appointments to the Board of Trustees. Last but certainly not least, we have had a few departures. Ms. Princess left us June 18th from customer service. Gabriel found a job closer to home, closer to Milwaukee. He left the reference department. Syra is leaving the children's department, as well as Yoslin leaving the inventory department toward the end of this month. And I am incredibly sad to say, and super excited, let me not be sad, but excited and enthused that Karina is pursuing her master's degree at Loyola. So correct me if I'm, please tell, I'll let Karina speak for it, but she's going to grad school and she'll be leaving us to go to grad school. So bittersweet, but excellent work, Karina, you have done as our marketing interim manager. You've stepped into that role with grace and with a great deal of know-how on how to get out into the community, and have helped us adapt the library's marketing methods to be more responsive to the community, to be more in the community and be at events in the community and things of that nature, and it's evolving from there. So great job, Karina. You've been an excellent person to work with, and I thank you. And with that, I pass.
Okay, thank you very much, John, for that report. And we thank you for, all of the work that you put in at the library. Okay, moving right along to Gail and the service report.
Good evening, everyone. Karina, if you could allow Karina to share screen, we'll add a little flavor with some pictures while we go through our 2 reports. I hope everybody's having some time to enjoy the beautiful weather this summer. As John stated, we are continuing with our expansion of services. Patron visits are slowly notching up. And part of this, these next 60 days, it will be key and critical for us to be out in the community, engaging with other partners and events, reminding people of our services, resources, and collection that we have at the library, and bringing those people back to the library with us. So as we noted, Children's Services effective Sunday, August 1st, we will be closing classroom A and B, or I should say transforming it back to a classroom space, and all of our materials that are in children's area in A and B will be going back downstairs. Physically, the department will be refreshed. There will be some changes in how the space is utilized and how the collection is presented. What you see in classroom A and B, the comfy bean chair seating and the small tables and chairs, that's going to be relocated to outside of the ELC. So there'll be that space for relaxation and engagement for the kids with their parents. For July, as John also said, access to the ELC is under evaluation, but we will be bringing back that space and programming in that space as soon as possible. July so far has included the launch of Discovery Bags. You can go ahead, Karina, to promote a science-based fun. We also did a Bring It, Make It, Take It. So there's a lot of outdoor activities going on with our 3 to 8s, as well as our teams, bringing them back into the outdoor space of the library, but having some fun and engaging. I'm so sorry. My 17-pound attack dog. Plans for September 1 include a library-wide back-to-school celebration for children and adults and a robust library card sign-up campaign. For adult services, we're continuing to have a librarian embedded in the Cool Learning experience, again, teaching students between 6th through 9th grade about the Waukegan Public Library, its resources, but also introducing them in terms of how to research and access information. This year, in addition to the tour, there's also going to be some job shadowing. So also engaging our community in what it's like to work in a library and be a librarian. We have 2 contests going on right now, the Colorful Adult Art Contest and the Ray Bradbury Writing Contest. Submissions are underway. Someone recently dropped off their art submission at the front desk. There will be prizes once everything is judged, and we will have displays of the submitted artwork as well as the winning artwork and contests, written contests. In terms of education and literacy services, we're continuing to bring back more of our programming in a hybrid model. So as time goes on and we can meet with people one-on-one, we are doing that by appointment in the library. So we're doing face-to-face appointments for intakes, health literacy referrals, literacy and ESL intake and testing. Enrollment is increasing in these programs, and our plans for August and September are to continue to deliver things virtually, but to increase our face-to-face. So as John mentioned, August 1 with the lower level opening, we will be welcoming some tutors back into the building with their students for adult literacy and ESL. We also held a meet and greet where community members and our community health workers were able to meet the 2 new social workers who will be hosting talk time. And there's something I wanted to clarify. I think there's been some concerns about what the social workers will be doing. I would suggest to you that the drop-in groups are more like moms groups or peer groups where people sit around and talk. Talk is really key, especially when we're stressed and we have questions. How do you handle this with your kids during the pandemic? What about getting your kids excited about going back to school post-pandemic? So really, there's going to be a lot of sharing and learning from each other, but guided with these professional social workers who will also make referrals for resources as well as services. But I really want to emphasize and stress this program is not for chronic or acute behavioral health needs. If we were to come upon someone like that who needed some more intensive care, just like we would any place else in the library, we would work with that person to connect them with the proper services outside of the library. So again, this is more of a talk time or one-on-one 30-minute appointments. And I'm glad to say that we started the week of July 4th with the meet and greet, and their appointment slots have been filling up. We shared this with our partners, and partners were very excited to see something like this at a public library. Our Wi-Fi hotspots are continuing to be checked out by patrons and adult education students. We've gotten positive feedback there, and this represents another tool in our toolbox for the community. Last but not least, but a very fun report, for Juneteenth, we were able to engage 80 community members over a 4-hour time span on our courtyard. And during that time, every single adult who came to the library learned about the library, its resources, programs, and services, as well as learned key information about Juneteenth. And probably the most important thing is they had some fun. So again, engaging in these kinds of programs allow us many more touch points with the community in which we can share what the library has and what the library does, with the intent of engaging people and bringing them into the library. This past week, I was able to see someone who came by and she said, "I told you I'd be back." And it was really cool to see someone who came to Juneteenth and then later returned to the library and enjoy it. And last but not least, at 4:39 today, I received an email from the Secretary of State, Office of Adult Literacy, that our adult literacy and ESL tutoring program is fully funded for fiscal year 2022. So we'll be able to continue on with a sound foundation piece. That's something that's important to our community, our ESL and adult literacy tutoring program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gail. And now Karina with the marketing report.
So kind of continuing on kind of the June, July recap from last time we met, just wanted to share our, it's going backwards. Okay, our virtual Independence Parade Shoebox Edition entry. Although we did not win on the top 3, we did get a lot of engagement. As you can see, 154 people liked us and shared and commented, and even on Twitter, like you would see people engaging with it. So very excited to see that and participate in that forum. So thank you, Park District, for hosting the event. And then moving along, kind of going along with what John said, we've been having a lot of fun in the different programs with the Kohls Pop-Up Museum, the different themes they've hosted, along with different activities we've hosted in the courtyard, our 3rd to 5th grade children's programming, our teen programming, having a lot of fun utilizing that space. And you can see that our community has enjoyed kind of engaging with the courtyard in that way, and still being able to safely meet in person. And our courtyard concert, as John mentioned, was really fun, and the public had a great time. It wasn't in its form as it has been years past, but it is the first one we've had in over a year, at least live. So we were very excited to see our courtyard filled with music and people again. As John mentioned, next month is Kaleidoscope Eyes on August 21st in conjunction with Art Walk. So if you can make it, stop by, listen to some Beatles cover music. It's a lot of fun and they're great. And our free summer lunches. I don't know if you had the chance to drive on MLK, but we have a banner promoting our summer lunch program. And along with our summer lunches that we've been passing out, our friends kindly have donated books to give away with the lunches. So our families have been very excited to receive a book when they come and grab their lunches, and also promoting different events since they're already coming by, and promoting our children's programming through that way too. And our friends book sale. Again, the first one in the courtyard to my knowledge. So it was really interesting to see them in that space. Community was very excited to stop by and just browse through books and catch some super sales. And our friends had a good time, and it was a nice day. We've been lucky with weather, thankfully, as we've been having these events. So another great event that we had, able to connect with the community. And a United Way school supply drive. If you haven't heard, we are one of the drop-off locations for the school supply drive, collecting donations for our families in the Waukegan Public School District. Now through Monday, if you want to stop by, make a donation, or want to share with friends, we will be collecting donations in the building during our regular hours of operation. And one thing that I forgot, there's no pictures, but we have been participating in a lot of community outreach and engagement events. We participated in the freshman orientation with families and high school students at Brookside yesterday from 9 to 5. So big thanks to our staff that covered that, because it was a long day. And they talked to over 300 people. So that's families and students that were handed swags, library swag, and information on our different programs for adults, children, and just the whole family. So, and then tomorrow, we are having a family night in partnership with the Boys and Girls Club. So we will have staff over there making library cards and sharing information. So we hope to continue to do similar events as we can safely meet in person. So more things like that coming soon as we get into the back to school season. And as John mentioned, I am getting ready to transition out of my role. And so I just wanted to say thank you to everyone on the board and to really everyone at the library. I've been with the library for almost 4 years. And so it's been a wonderful experience and a really learning experience. That's my first job straight out of college. Coming back to my community was a wonderful experience. So thank you all. And it's all very bittersweet. So thank you.
We thank you.
Thank you very much, Karina, for your report. And I have to say, thank you so much for all of the hard work that you've done. I've seen you all over the community, working for the library. So I really appreciate, all of your hard work, that you've done. So we're going to miss you.
Sylvia?
Okay, so just moving right along, I just want to ditto what John said about the Kohls Museum. Oh my goodness, I walked through one day. It was such an exciting event. And, and the children were so engaged. So, kudos to the Kohls Museum for all of their hard work that they're doing at the library and across Waukegan. Also, while I was there, I did get a craft bag from Cindy. I think that's such an awesome idea, where you're actually putting together some type of craft and it's all in the bag. That's all I have to say. So if you haven't went to the library, you got to go to the library and see those little craft bags. The other thing is, I just want to thank the library staff for all of the hard work that you put in for Juneteenth. I wasn't able to get around to the library, but I did see a lot of pictures I was the one that was sending people to you. There was probably about 200 people or more that actually started the journey. So it was really a cool concept, and I just appreciate the work that you did, for Juneteenth. And the back to school program that you're talking about, oh my goodness, I know students are going to be so excited, and more so, I think that their teachers for the last 15 months are going to be quite excited, i.e. their parents. So I'm sure that they're going to be quite excited, for them to go back to school. And then I can't wait to see the artwork that's being submitted for the contest. So with that, let's move on into new business. Oh, I have one more thing. We're going to have an executive session. Tentatively, I scheduled it for 6 o'clock next Wednesday, and it's concerning a personnel matter. So if 6 o'clock is, kind of too early or too late, I mean, we can make it at 5:30 or we can make it at 6:30. Just text me and let me know before the agenda goes out. And with that, we can move on into new business. So the per capita grant award, John?
Before we do though, Jean was trying to get your attention, Sylvia. She had a couple of questions. Do you want to entertain questions, or can we wait till the comments, trustee comments?
If you have questions of the marketing or the service director, if you could write them down and then during your comment time, make your comments.
Thank you, Madam President. The library is excited to be a recipient. We receive every year a per capita grant from the Secretary of State of Illinois. And in the past, there was a few years where the library or the state didn't have a budget, so we received less. But the past 2 years, we've received $111,000 and some change from the per capita grant. It has to do with the number of people who live in our community who we serve. And this year, we ended up with 131,000, I believe, because the federal government has distributed some of the CARES Act. Well, I guess it's not CARES Act money, but it's federal monies for recovery from the pandemic is being distributed to each state to distribute as they seem fit. We've looked into applying for a lot of other grants and stuff, but because we don't filter our internet, we don't qualify for any federal funds. So at this point, our 131,000 versus 111, we're $20,000 better to the good, and very grateful to the state of Illinois for this per capita grant, which offsets costs and things that we wouldn't necessarily have budgeted for, like Wi-Fi hotspots or things like LED signs, those kinds of things. We may need a new library vehicle very soon. Chuck told me today it's kind of on its last legs, so we need to start looking toward replacing the van. It's kind of got to represent the library and the community too, and it needs to look nice. So that's something to discuss, but the per capita money is something we apply for, and for specific purposes it's used as per the application. So that's exciting news.
Thank you, John. And that's in our board packet, so you can read through it. If you have comments or questions, please hold those until your comment time. Moving on to B, which is the review and approve quotes for a security camera upgrade for the Waukegan Public Library. Okay, John.
I would like to defer. I've asked Isaac Salgado, our IT manager, to come and give us a brief explanation about the cameras. So I'm going to give him sharing. Let me see here. Make him a co-host so he can share his screen. He had a couple of PowerPoint presentations to show, or PowerPoint slides to show you, to talk about not only the camera, but also our internet, because there was some board questions about the internet.
Okay.
So that's the library. Take it away, Isaac.
All right, hello everyone, good evening. So here is just a brief overview as to the camera quotes. I don't know if you all have received what the quotes look like and have been able to go over them. I kind of try to put it into somewhat of a perspective for you to compare what the three quotes entail of. As you can see, Sonitron and Wilcom do come in at about 23,000, almost roughly the same, 24,000 roughly for Wilcom. And then we have a third one from the IT Connection, which is actually our IT contractor that we hire out. And theirs came in at 15,000. I don't know if the board members have any questions about some of the things that are listed on the quotes. If there are, I'm more than willing to answer any of the questions that you may have. I know some of these may seem a little pricey in terms, but for me, my recommendation would be the IT Connection. One of the reasons why it's coming in so low too is because not only is it our contractor, but also I would be helping out in doing some of the installation and replacement of the video cameras in the building.
Do we have any questions about it?
I have a question.
Okay.
Other than having you help with installation in the building, is there anything that we would be missing out with the IT Connection quote that the other two would offer?
That's what I was trying to look at. I think the biggest thing would be from Sonatrol is that they're offering a lifetime support and training and lifetime technical assistance. That's pretty much, the other thing would be a health check, and one other thing would be 24-hour monitoring by their IT services as well. So if we're not able to get to it, they'll be able to monitor it as well. That's one of the biggest things that I can see from Sonatrol. Wilcom in the IT Connection is pretty much the same what they offer. The installation, the training, and the 1-year warranties.
And if I may too, the Wilcom is the company with whom we do business for telephones. Sonatrol is the company with whom we do business for our security system. And the IT Connection, again, we do business as they're our contractors.
So presently, let me just be clear on what you just said to us. So presently, Sonatrol does our security monitoring. Is that correct, John?
Yes.
And then Wilcom, they have all of our landline telephones.
Just to be, I don't want to misspeak.
Wilcom is the one that provides our telephone system in-house. So pretty much the entire wiring and cabling inside the building.
And so then with IT Connections, presently, that's who we have our cameras with. So
no,
Sonatrol, go ahead.
IT Connection is just our contractor, our IT contractor that comes in to help on Tuesdays.
Okay, go ahead, Tatiana.
May I ask a question? Isaac, is there any knowledge of how long the installation will take for this, and meaning what your time commitment to this project would be?
So as of right now, depending on who we ultimately decide to go with, there is a timeline of about 3 to 4 weeks out due to parts being on like very back ordered. Not only cameras, but computers and any other tech pieces are quite on back order at the moment.
I mean, like your hours of installation. So with the IT Connection, you mentioned that it's a lower rate because you would be aiding in that process with IT Connection. So I'm wondering, what your commitment to this project would be in terms of your hours that would be needing to be dedicated to this installation project. Do I make sense? Is that making sense?
Yes. Yeah, so pretty much my commitment to this would be pretty much one work day. It would be an 8-hour work day.
Okay, once parts arrive and they would be
Yes.
working, IT Connection would be working with you to facilitate that process?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
I would ask, okay, sorry.
Go ahead, Martha.
My question is, the other ones then don't allow the same interaction that Isaac can do with the IT Connection. And the other question is that as far as I don't see any camera with mic for the boardroom and any of the other ones.
You are correct on that, Martha. They did not offer that because I don't know if Sonatrol was not told about it. Wilcom was told about it, but they did not include it on the quote. I mean, I could ask them to see what the pricing would be for a camera like that, so that you all can have that information.
Okay,
Would
and
our
the other,
current, right.
what, the CCTV cameras, those are the indoor ones. So am I to assume that the other ones don't include any indoor cameras which are recording any anything that's going on in the library? And then also who oversees it too?
So the CCTV cameras are pretty much the same ones as the one in the Wilcom, which is the analog cameras. Those two are pretty much the same thing. Sonitro would be replacing and swapping out all of the CCTV cameras.
Okay,
I had a question.
we're gonna stick to the 2-question rule tonight. So if you have, this is just for a review. We're not going to, it says review and approve quotes. But I think that it would be good for us to look at it a little bit more and make sure that we're making a good decision. So let's stick to the 2-question rule today. Isaac will be available to answer questions. John can answer questions. But let's stick to that. Okay, go ahead, Tatiana.
I just wanted to say, I respectfully, I am concerned about the back order of all these parts. So I do feel like it's a pressing matter. If somebody can ease me a little bit on that. I feel like due to the back order with different parts in this, do we have room to talk about it, or you need an answer for approval tonight?
Isaac, can you address that?
Sure. I mean, I have time. I have enough time because we still have a current security system that pretty much takes care of itself right now. So even if we decide to wait the 3 to 4 weeks or more, that is still fine by me.
Anyone else have a question?
So I have a question here.
Okay, go ahead, Larry.
So I'm very uninformed. What is, first of all, what's a 5 MP camera and what's a 4 MP camera? I mean, I don't understand these terms. What are they?
So 5 MP just means the resolution of the camera lens. So the higher the number, the better the quality of the image you'll get. There's only a difference of 1, so it really won't make that much of a difference. If we were to do like a 2 megapixel camera versus a 5, then there would be a very big difference. And on top of that, what the number of megapixels also depends on how much recording we can do. The higher it is, the less recording we can have. So we try to deal with that by adding bigger hard drives to the video recording systems.
Okay, just one more question. It's my 2, and that's it then. So what kind of cameras are these? Are these security cameras, or are they some security cameras and some other kind of cameras? And what other kind of cameras would they be? I mean, are they add-ons, or is it replacing stuff we already have, or is it, I mean, I don't understand.
That's okay. The majority of these cameras are pretty much replacements of what is currently in the building. They'd all be security cameras. They'd be all dome, shatter resistant, and tamper resistant as well.
Our current system has about 5 new-ish cameras. I think they are 5 megapixels, but the rest of them are old and blurry, and the system hasn't really been updated in greater than 10 years. And as you know how long it takes for technology to evolve, 10 years is a long time for some cameras in our library. It would certainly help. To answer Martha's question too, the safety team, Chuck Rizzio, our manager of the safety and maintenance, and myself are the ones who have access to the camera system.
Okay, go ahead, Jeannie.
I have a question, Sylvia.
You got 2 of them. Go ahead.
No, I don't. No, that was for something else. Am I my time now?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm talking about the IT process here. Not even that. Not a question. Is it possible when we're getting these quotes, this isn't directed at you, Isaac, that we could give these companies a document with what it is we're looking for, so that we don't have all these questions because everybody's got something different written down? It would be a whole lot easier for us to make a decision if we had MP cameras and everybody said how many they were going to give us, We got all these different things that everybody's telling us. We don't know what any of this is.
I completely
We have
understand how
apples
you
and
feel,
It was
Jeannie.
just a quote. I mean, a
I
question.
can, it's
Go ahead,
okay, I
Ike.
completely
Sorry.
understand. I understand how you feel,
And
Jeannie,
not
about
just
that.
the IT contract, all the things that we put quotes out for. Tell the people what it is we want and let them address what we want and not give us what they can tell us what they're going to give us.
Okay, any other questions?
I just have a quick comment, Sylvia.
Go ahead.
So Isaac, I appreciate you putting these 3 charts together, because when I was going through the documents, I just scrolling back and forth, trying to put it all together, and this really outlines it really well. So I just appreciate the structure here for that. So thanks.
Thank
Yes.
you.
I have a question. So other than the current camera system being old and I guess not what we're looking for here, what issues have they presented?
I guess the biggest issue that it's been presenting is the fact of its age. Some of the hard drives on it have been replaced, but because the video recorder is pretty old, a lot of the hard drives have started to fail more frequently. The other thing is the resolution of the cameras. If our safety team is trying to pull up an image of a person or trying to print it out, it comes out very blurry. The resolution is not the greatest on some of the cameras. Like what John was saying, there's only a handful of cameras that are of a higher resolution. I believe those are the outdoor cameras at the moment that I can think of.
And
But
being in
those
it
are
as an
limited
older
to-
system as well, that there's not constantly recording. They select cameras record for like an hour or 15 minutes and then they stop recording. And so it selectively moves around like all these windows, they'll go blank because they are scheduled or planned that way or programmed that way. And I think, again, a more updated system would give us more real-time access, ability to do it from home, ability. Right now, you have to go to a computer with the actual software installed to see it. It's just time for an update is my recommendation.
That's understandable. What would happen to the old system? What would we do with all the remaining cameras? I know that you mentioned there's about 5 new cameras. What would happen with all that?
The new cameras we would keep, but most likely we'd swapping out new cameras for old cameras.
Okay. Thank you. And thank you for the information provided.
Thank you, Isaac, for your awesome presentation. Okay, so because this is at the review stage, we'll come back to it at our next meeting. We'll make sure that we put it back on our agenda. But please look over the quotes and see if you can come up with the apples and apples and oranges, so that we're not looking at 29 5 MP cameras and 24 and 23, etc. Okay, thank you. And then an IT update on Waukegan Public Library internet service providers.
Yes, let me just grab my talking points for that. Okay, so I understand that there's some questions about the different internet bills that we pay here at the library. As you can see on the image here that I've grouped these two in the same color because they pertain to each other. And then we have 2 different Comcast bills as well. So I'll start off with ICN and AT&T. So when you look at the bills that come into the library or what you see in the finance reports, you'll see the Illinois Department of Innovation, which is what Larry was asking in the previous meeting in the Finance Committee about. That's actually ICN, or the Illinois Century Network. This is the internet that's provided to us by the state of Illinois. So we pay one part to ICN, and then we pay the other part to AT&T. So as you can see, I kind of broke it down by price too. We pay ICN $650 and AT&T $522.56. Both contracts were started in 2016, And currently we use ICN for staff only at this moment. We're paying ICN for service provisioning, any kind of incident resolution. So if there's something going on with the internet, we have them take a look at it. They do routine maintenance. They provide us our static IP address. And they pretty much just monitor everything that's going on with our internet. I believe earlier this year, ICN was actually the first one to call me to let me know that there was an issue going on with their internet. So we were able to take care of that as well. And then we are paying AT&T for the usage of what's called a fiber circuit, which is how our internet is delivered. And also we are paying AT&T for any maintenance that's needed on the actual physical line. So if AT&T needs to come out and do work on the actual underground line, they will come out and do that. And that's what we're paying AT&T for. Let's see here. And because it's a fiber optic internet that we are using here at the library, it's actually a very fast internet compared to what we're using for Comcast at either location. And I understand that the bill might be a little bit high, but new subscribers right now that are wanting to sign up for ICN are going to be paying about $1,918 for the same service that we currently have at the main library. Is there any questions before I move on to the Comcast ones?
I have a question.
Sure.
My question is that since ICN is being used for staff use, what is the difference between ICN and Comcast that you could maybe in Comcast main campus use it for patron and staff use instead of having two separate bills?
Right. So the difference is right now is that with our fiber network, it's actually more reliable and it's a lot faster than what we're using with Comcast because Comcast runs on a coax or a cable line. The more people that you have on a cable line, the more congested it gets versus a fiber network. You can have multiple people on it and you won't see any kind of significant reduction in speed. That is one of the things I do want to try to do in terms of internet at the library. I would like to try to move our staff and patrons to one network at the moment, but we cannot because we do not have the proper equipment to do so.
Okay, so with the upgrade of the cameras, it has nothing to do with the internet at all, right?
No.
Okay, and I remember that when they mentioned about the grant, that based on the reason that it's not blocked for certain things, that we can't get the larger amount grant. Would that be possible to implement so that we could get a larger amount to switch everything over to what you're saying, the ICN? And how much would it go up?
That is all very dependent on administration and I believe the policy, the library policy as to whether or not we want to start filtering our internet. I'm not sure. I'm going to defer that question over to John. I don't know if you have a response.
It's possible, but it's not advisable. At this point, the benefits of filtering the internet, at best, any filtering software that exists is no better than 50% effective. So really, it's just a Band-Aid. I would say even a Band-Aid, like some makeup to make it look nice. But really, at the end of the day, filtering doesn't work, which is why our library ditched it back in I don't know what year. The library decided not to do filtering. It does preclude us from applying for some federal funds, and it seems to be pandemic related that there are all these extra funds. Usually it's a competitive grant process and there's no guarantee we would even receive an award, so it's really not advantageous or beneficial for us to filter our internet.
Thank you.
Okay, I will move on to the Comcast points now. So we do have two different Comcast accounts. One is at the main library and the other one is at the Kingston branch, as you can see from the graphic. The Comcast one at the main library is for patron use only. So this is kind of good as well because we keep the patron network separate from the staff network. We really don't want the patrons to be able to look at what's on the staff network. We don't want them to be able to start looking at documents or anything like that. So we try to keep them separate. And that's why I was also saying that we don't have the proper equipment at the moment to try to keep both networks on the same internet. And the Comcast one was actually, the account was established in 2012, so it's actually older than ICN, and so is the Hingston one. That one was in 2013.
And if I may, Isaac, real quick, just embed, I went to the library insurance, the LIRA meeting most recently, and they're suggesting that we budget conservatively a 30% increase in our insurance costs for the library, and their primary concern is cyber. There have been, and you have perhaps been subject to some of these phishing emails and things of that nature. What's bigger is ransomware. It started in corporate and it made it to academia, and then from academia to public schools and now libraries. And so we run the risk when we have all of our data on a system that can be hacked. We are in shark infested waters. People will start to send us ransomware requests and they won't give us access. So having them separate in two different pipes, so to speak, is the right way to run our internet through the library. It's almost worth paying the extra money so that never the twain shall meet. Not to mention, I don't know, Isaac, off the top of my head how much it would cost to get the equipment, but I would say 5 figures, but I'm not sure.
Right. I think at the moment when we budgeted out to try to get this equipment, it was about $6,000. And also the other thing about the Comcast library or internet at the main library, it tends to serve as a backup in case of any failures on the staff side with ICN. Our firewall is programmed to do that. It's programmed to kick in Comcast on the staff side in case there is a failure with ICN. So there is a benefit to having both Comcast and ICN at the main library.
Thank you, Isaac. Do you have another report?
I don't think so. I think those were the only 2 things.
All right. Thank you so much. We really appreciate all the hard work that you do also, Isaac, and all the help that you give us. So then with that, let's go to any announcements or trustee comments, and let's start with Josue.
Other than thanking staff for the great work they've been doing this summer, I don't have any comments.
Martha.
I'm back in town for a little while, and I want to say thank you for the newsletter was really nice and they had a lot and very informative. And I have to say the translations from one side to the other pretty very well mapped up. So it's really good. Thank you.
Thank you. Tatiana.
Hi, I'm going to be fast. My comments or questions related to tonight's meeting, I'm going to actually just personally email you, John and Gail, and we'll handle those that way. I wanted to say to the staff and John, staff and admin, we are loving the free books that come along with the lunches. It has been so exciting to see. I've stopped over many times, and it's been so exciting to see the community and how excited the kids are getting out of the car. And I've seen so many kids jump out of the car and go straight for that book cart, not care about their lunches. So I really greatly appreciate that. I've been able to participate in the Kohls Museum activities, and it was also fantastic. And so thank you. And it wasn't something, my experience with it was Kohls Museum staff was there to facilitate, but our library staff was also present and engaging with the children. So that was also really wonderful to see. And I'm really excited about the Hingston programming being offered. So thank you for thinking of that and having that on the agenda. I also want to address our board, and please meet with John if you can. It is really beneficial to us as a board to meet with John and Gail, and I'll be on the same page there. And I also still, my disappointment still lies in the fact that our committees are not meeting. And it is really frustrating and difficult when our committees are not meeting. So I just, please try to make committee meetings. We need them so that our meetings, our regular board meetings, can be shorter, more concise, and that we're all on the same page. But thank you again to the staff and administration of the library for all of your work. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeannie.
Okay. Question number 1. How many positions need to be filled, and how are we filling them again?
So currently we have 53 staff members on our staffing list. We were at 60 some, I think 63, 64. So we're short a few positions, but that is the discussion which I would like to have with each board member individually, because I want to explain the process by which we are restaffing the departments and rehiring it. The history at the library was, as soon as somebody leaves, we hurry up and fill the position. And I think we need to step back, reevaluate as an organization the needs for staffing in each department. And I'm not trying to stress anybody out or make any department completely thin, but we need to have a discussion and make strategic decisions about how we hire and what we hire. Hence the reason we haven't hired an HR manager at this point, because I think we need to reevaluate the need for an HR manager and either contract or bring someone in to do more than one person to do the work. As we have decided with Karina's position, the marketing position will be split into 2 coordinator positions that will work on community outreach and engagement. And that's exactly what she's been doing, but the marketing piece will take kind of a backseat to the community engagement piece, because word of mouth marketing in Waukegan is king. And I hope that answered, but I'd be happy to answer your questions offline, and feel free to call me anytime. I'd like to explain this to each trustee in depth so that there's clarity.
2. Thank you, John. Question number 2, Gail. How will you be selecting the person that'll be the job shadower?
Based on what the cool learning experience, what their program objectives are. So far, they really want to learn more about how the library works. So they've taken a tour. They used to go see the old sorter and see different aspects of the library. And then because they've been working the last couple of summers with reference librarians, that's the first job that they've asked to review or to shadow. So what is it like, what do you do when you're actually in the building, kind of a thing?
Okay, my comments are, I think the library is doing a wonderful job. I was on a meeting, the financial meeting, and the principal from Oakdale's called, and she was telling me that she has been working in the library and she thinks it's a wonderful place. She loves being able to come in there and work in there and being quiet. Nobody's bothering them because her building's closed up for a couple of weeks. So I did want to say that. And bad note, I did get one of the flyers. I got the June, but it came to addressed to me. I didn't get one as an occupant, which I'm sure everybody else is. And I've asked several people to be on the watch out in the neighborhood. So I'm trying to see. Something's happening here. So what is? We need to find out what it is. But other than that, wonderful job.
Thank you, Jeannie. Larry.
Thank you. Yes, I want to give a bravo to John and Gail for doing an exceptional job of leading the library and getting things moving and keeping everything going. It's a very good job. And Karina, we'll miss you. We thank you for all the good work you've done in 4 years at the library and the marketing. It's a wonderful job. We'll miss you, but good luck to you and congratulations on your new career advancement. And I wanted to also say a good word about I got the summer 2021 edition recently, just I believe last week, of Turning the Page, and this document here, and it's very, very well done, very colorful, very informative, and it's a very good service. I just had a thought that and it's a form of transparency and letting the public know who is in on a public authority in terms of direction for the library. I do know that the Waukegan Township, when they do mailings, they typically have their board of trustees, the names of the board members on their mailing, and they're like a newsletter, whatever, every month. And I know that the Waukegan Park District does that too. They name their commissioners, and so the public knows who is overseeing the programs there on their behalf. And so a suggestion would be just a suggestion for transparency and just to give the public an idea who the trustees are. I mean, it's on our website, but it's you kind of have to look for it. Would be to put the trustees' name somewhere on the next mailing of this turning the page, just so the public knows who's guiding the library on their behalf. Just a suggestion, and that's all I have. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Brian?
Yep, thanks. So I echo all the comments about the great summer programs that are going on. I'm excited to see what's going on for fall, what's going to be coming up for winter, just because everything feels, I mean, I know there's still a pandemic, but it's feeling more normal in terms of being able to see people and do programs. At least that's how I feel on my end with museum tours that we're doing and everything. So I'm glad to hear that we will be meeting in person starting next month and that board development is going to be going on, since I know in the time that I've been here that it's been needed. And congrats to Karina again for going on to pursue your master's. So if you're going to Loyola, is that right?
Actually, it's the University of Chicago, but Loyola's great too.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I only say it because I went to Loyola, but anyways, I mean, I love getting my master's, so congrats to that for going to pursue that. And so very quickly, I just want to give an update on the Carnegie Library and what our project is doing right now. So progress is going very well on that project, and the support for it has been amazing. We're pleased to announce that our project is receiving $3 million from the state of Illinois, thanks to Senator Johnson. And we're also still in the running for an additional $3 million in federal funds, thanks to Rep. Brad Schneider's office. And then thank you to John and Sylvia for writing a letter of support for that federal funding. Currently, the Waukegan Park District is finishing up the schematic design phase and will soon be starting the design development phase. And this is anticipated to be completed this September. And then in conjunction with those things, the Historical Society is going through the exhibit design phase right now. We've had 2 of 3 related workshops so far, and it's been a great way to sit down with experts in these content areas like the Center for Ray Bradbury Studies at IUPUI on Bradbury content, and then the Waukegan Harbor Citizens Advisory Group for natural resources content and the environment. And it's really been helpful in being able to create the vision for what these exhibits will be. So I just wanted to offer that update on that project.
Thank you. Thank you. We needed that. And Rob.
Hi. I just wanted to, of course, being last, echo everyone. But as John said, I've been going to the library a bit. I just moved downtown, so I have a lot of free time and nowhere to go because I don't have chairs or anything. So anyways, the library's been nice, and it is so lovely how kind everyone is. I just walk in and there's like a chorus of hellos, and it's just great to be back in there. So thank you everyone for everything, and Isaac, good job on those graphic things to help us understand all those things. That was nice. Thank you.
Okay, I think I got everyone. Did I miss anyone?
Can I say something, Sylvia? I forgot to mention.
Please.
I would encourage everyone to go take a tour of the library. John hosted a tour for me and took me around the library, and I got to see a lot of the work that has been done in the past year, including the renovation of I don't know what it's officially called, the garage storage room. So yeah, take some time to tour the library and see what's been happening.
Okay, thank you. So at this point, Can we get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Can we get a second?
I'll second to adjourn the meeting.
Hey, all in favor? Oh, it's been motioned and properly second. All in favor, Josue,
Aye.
Tatiana? Tatiana?
Sorry,
Okay. Rob,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
Jeannie,
Yes.
Larry,
Aye.
Martha,
Aye.
and Sylvia, yes. So meeting has been adjourned. Thank you, everybody.